The beautiful game delivers yet again. Glory, glory, Man United, because Man United have just beaten Liverpool 4-3 to go to the semi-finals of the FA Cup. And I'll tell you what, that has to be right up there with one of the best moments of my adult life as a United fan. That last minute goal from Ahmad nearly gave me a heart attack. I was seeing stars for about 3 minutes after that went in. And I only realized what actually happened when I saw Ahmad walking off the pitch with his second yellow card. And I'll tell you guys something else. All you Liverpool fans who are watching this and saying, what do you mean United dominated the game and dominated Liverpool? Just look at the actual stats. United had almost double the XG that Liverpool did. We had more shots, the same number of shots on target, 5 big chances created to Liverpool's 1, and all 3 of Liverpool's goals came off of deflections. So yeah, United had to come from behind twice to win it in the end, but Liverpool didn't really deserve the 3 goals that put them in front in the first place. The 2 in the first half came against the run of play because we were dominating the game like we have never done this season. And Harvey Elliott's goal in the first half of extra time was also kind of against the run of play because Liverpool were pretty much out of gas by that point. So I only have one message for United fans today, and this is important. Enjoy this result as much as you can. Enjoy those goals from Anthony, Rashford, and Ahmad, because this is a day that we will probably remember forever. At least I know I will. It's not quite the Champions League winner in '99 from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, but it is a very, very special FA Cup win in the history of this great club, especially given how bad we are at this time. So without further ado, let's get straight into the analysis for today. Now let's get one thing right before we do any analysis today. That was by far our best performance of the season. And I'm not even saying this because of the theatrics of the Antony equalizer, followed by the Rashford equalizer, followed by the Diallo winner in extra time. I'm saying this purely because of the sheer brilliance that we saw in the first 40 minutes of the first half. We literally pinned Liverpool back in their own half and still managed to get in behind their defense time and time again. It was like watching a prime Pep Guardiola side play. I actually couldn't believe my eyes. So let's take a look at a few examples of how we broke past Liverpool's defense in that first half. We start with Lindelof winning a header here and playing it into Dalot here, who was actually playing as the CDM today in possession. As we play along, Dalot passes it here to Mainoo, and I want you guys to appreciate how well this kid absorbs pressure in possession. Because right here, both Szoboszlai and McAllister get super tight on him, but somehow he breaks past their challenges, and within a flash, he's dribbled past the midfield 3 of Liverpool right here. This kind of ball-carrying ability is exactly what Ten Hag was looking for in Frankie de Jong when he was after him last summer. It just shows you how good this kid is that instead of going after someone like de Jong, we've just brought someone through from our academy. As Mainoo lays this off over to Rashford on the left-hand side, we see a ton of space for both Rashford and Wan-Bissaka in front of them, right here. Now, as we skip forward a few seconds, we see Wan-Bissaka here, Rashford and Bruno all on the left wing, marked by 3 Liverpool players in this area. As Wan-Bissaka lays this off to Bruno and makes a run into the box here, this pulls Gomez away from Rashford in this area right there. And that also draws 3 Liverpool players towards Bruno in this space. Now, all of a sudden, Mainoo at the edge of the box is in tons of space, and McAllister knows that, so he's about to close him down. I want you guys to pay attention to Wan-Bissaka and Mainoo in this play in the next few seconds. So Bruno passes to Mainoo. He plays a first time pass into Wan-Bissaka here because he knows McAllister's onto him. And then Wan-Bissaka touches it first time into Mainoo's path, who's about to get into this pocket of space towards the byline. And while all this is happening, McAllister and Gomez know that they can't just let a free man get to the byline here. So all of a sudden, they're moving their attention from Wan-Bissaka, who's about to be the free man here, towards Mainoo. As Gomez turns around, Wan-Bissaka gets free, and Mainoo knows exactly what to do, which is cut it back towards Wan-Bissaka. And unfortunately, he goes for a toe poke half finish that doesn't actually do anything. He should have probably just left it for McTominay. But the point is, this kind of off-ball movement and one-touch play, we just haven't seen it all season. This is the kind of stuff that Man City and Liverpool do to teams like us, not the other way around. Now we go to the 4th minute of the game with Højlund on the ball here. He lays it off to Mainoo, who plays it back to Dalot on the right side over here, and you can see the 3-man Liverpool press that's already started in this situation right there. Now, somehow Dalot manages to squeeze the ball through the press, and gets it out to McTominay in this space over here. Now I want to pause here and explain why passes like these that Dalot just played are crucial for a team like United, as simple as they might seem, because we are consistently playing against teams that want to press us and test our passing in possession. When you play a pass like this, you manage to get past 4, 5, or 6 of the opposition team, because look at how Liverpool are clustered over on the right-hand side of United's attack over here. There's 5 players here, and with this one pass, Dalot has bypassed every single one of them, and this has created massive spaces for United to exploit in the middle and on the opposite flank. You can't quite see Rashford here because he's behind the scoreboard, but he's in tons of space, so if we can find a way to get the ball towards him, Liverpool pretty much can't do anything about that. So McTominay plays this ball into Højlund, who plays it to Bruno, and the ball makes its way to Garnacho on the right-hand side. And again, look at how Liverpool have 6 or 7 players in this space over here, which means there's a ton of space, as you guys can see over here, on the opposite flank because of this move, because of us finding those intricate spaces on the right-hand side. And Garnacho knows this fact really well, so he gets to the edge of the box and he fires it across the edge of the box over here to Rashford, who takes a really nice shot and unfortunately gets saved. But you can see how inside 4 minutes of the game, United have created 2 great chances inside the Liverpool box from great passing and great off-the-ball movement. Both things that we have barely seen evidence of this season. And of course, the sad thing is I don't really know how we can go from that poor performance against Everton to something like this within the space of a week. But hey, I'm not complaining when I see good stuff. Let's hope we see more of this in the coming weeks. Now we get to the first goal in the 10th minute here, and I think it is our goal of the season. And I know that's a controversial thing to say with Garnacho's overhead kick against Everton and Mainoo's last minute winner against Wolves, but I'm actually dead serious, and I'll explain exactly why as we break this goal down. So Rashford breaks on the counterattack in this situation and he gets to the edge of the box. Liverpool has 7 players back here with only 3 United players on screen. But I want you guys to focus on this massive space that Liverpool have left right in the middle between their 2 defenders and also between the midfield and the defense. As Rashford cuts inside and is pressured by Liverpool to release this ball in this situation right there, Garnacho is still in a great position here because he is in the blind spot of these 3 Liverpool players. As Bruno takes a few seconds and releases this ball back to Rashford, pay attention to Garnacho's movements here. He takes a few steps closer towards this position so he can make a better angle for Rashford's pass. And again, I want to take a second here to point out Liverpool's defensive mistakes, because Joe Gomez here is trying to swap positions with Kwanzaa, so he gets back into right back and goes up against Rashford. Endo and McAllister don't cover for Gomez by getting into this position and are basically marking thin air over here. And Van Dijk, for all his world-class abilities, doesn't actually shift over to close down this gap, and he ends up actually playing Garnacho onside as well, as we'll see in a second. Now, as we play this along, it's a simple pass for Rashford into Garnacho in the towards the byline, and Garnacho has so much time and space here, he can do whatever he wants. He can either cut it back towards McTominay or go for the shot himself. Of course, he ends up going for the shot, which deflects off the goalkeeper and into McTominay's path for an easy finish. So, why is this my goal of the season? It's because in this situation right here, Rashford makes the right pass. And Garnacho is intelligent enough to be in the right position and make the right run at the right time, as we can see right here. Garnacho makes the right run, and then when he's under pressure to make the right decision here, he goes for the shot, which in my opinion, again, is the right thing to do. And then McTominay does the right thing by following through and getting at the end of a loose ball in front of the net. So yeah, this may not be a Puskás award-winning goal, but it is a goal that Ten Hag and the coaching staff will enjoy a hell of a lot, because the decision maker from every single player involved at every single opportunity was spot on. The whole season we've been crying out for better decision making in the final third, especially from the likes of Rashford and Garnacho, and in this goal, and for most of the first half, they got everything right. We now go to the 14th minute of the first half, where we saw 2 runs from United that broke past Liverpool's defensive line like knife through butter. We start with McTominay here on the left wing. As we play along, McTominay drops his shoulder to make an inch of space from Gomez, And I want you guys to pay attention to Rashford movements here from midfield. As Rashford breaks past Endo on his blind side, McTominay gets ready to play a reverse pass into Rashford so that he could get into this area over here. And this time, Liverpool are a bit more aware for this run, so they have 3 players covering the midfield runner. But again, look at the big gaps in their defense as Garnacho is again unmarked at the edge of the box. Now, because Rashford has nowhere to go, he turns around and recycles the ball back to Bruno on the wing over here. And now I want you guys to look at Mainu, who's in tons of space at the edge of the box. Look at this massive box over here. Now Mainu receives the ball and he turns towards their defense. He is surrounded by, say, 4 Liverpool players in this space. And in one clean move, he absolutely leaves both Gomez and McAllister for dead right here. And he tries to squeeze the ball back to McTominay at the edge of the box, but unfortunately it takes a touch off Endo and goes into the hand of the goalkeeper. But if you guys watch back those 30 seconds again, both Rashford and Mainu penetrated through a static Liverpool defense, and both of their starting positions were from midfield, which means in both situations we had a clear pattern of play that the team followed. McTominay here knew that someone was going to make this run from midfield into this space, so he was mentally prepared to play this reverse pass for Rashford. And in this situation, Bruno was mentally prepared to know that Mainu is probably going to be at the edge of the box, and if he finds him in space like this, once he gets his head up, he can probably dribble past 1 or 2 players and make something happen. So while we may have seen such patterns of play on and off in games this season, we haven't seen this level of consistency from United within the same game before. Literally the whole of the first half, we were killing Liverpool again and again with this same pattern of play down the left-hand side. So Ten Hag, the coaching staff, and the players deserve massive credit for our performance today. And these patterns of play is exactly how Liverpool got dominated by United today. You guys know I've backed Ten Hag this season, despite how bad it has gotten at times, because I know he's only one of like 50 things that is wrong with our club at any given time. So sacking him before the end of his second year was never really going to fix anything. And the game today showed us how detrimental injuries have been to Ten Hag's progress this season. Because we've been struggling without a left back for like 10 games or so, and Wan-Bissaka comes back from injury and puts Salah in his pocket. We were without Højlund for just like 2 or 3 games. He comes back from injury and we look like an actual team again. Maguire has been out forever. He comes back and plays a very important role off the bench for us in regulation and extra time. And of course, our match winner today, Amad Diallo, comes back from injury and wins us the bloody game. So if you look at the season from the lens of how poorly run this club is, the lack of a director of football, the overspending on players in the transfer window, the over-reliance on the manager getting every single thing right, and the lack of squad depth, it's very easy to see that Ten Hag is actually in an impossible position. He is set up to fail. Any manager in world football would look like shit in this position, especially under the mountain of expectations that the Man United job brings. So what are you going to expect? You're going to see the poor performances and the poor results that we've seen this season. So maybe, just maybe, we can give Ten Hag some more time, let the season pass, maybe also give him all of next season when hopefully we've fixed some of the issues that we have, and we can get to a position where we can actually analyze how good or bad Ten Hag is. Because right now, firing Ten Hag is not a poor look on Ten Hag. It's actually evidence of poor decision making at our club. So for me, I'm Ten Hag in, like I have been the entirety of the season, and I hope you guys are too. Let me know in the comments down below. Let me know who your man of the match is. My heart wants to give it to Amad Diallo, but I think I'll probably give it to Garnacho because he showed some relentless energy on the pitch today. To play for 120 minutes and pull off that assist for Diallo in the last minute, that's my man of the match. Let me know in the comments down below. I'll see you next time.